Give me what you got. I guess by now you can take a hunch and find that I am the baby of the bunch, but that's okay. I still keep in stride, cause all I'm here to do is just a wiggle your behind. Sing it on and on and on and on. The beat don't stop until the break of dawn. Sing it on and on and on and on and on. Rock, yo, good on the floor. I'm gonna freak you here, I'm gonna freak you there. I'm gonna move you out of this atmosphere, cause I'm one of a kind and I'll shock your mind. I put the jiggers in your behind. I say the 1, 2, 3, 4, come on, girls, get on the floor, come alive, yo, give me what you got, cause I'm guaranteed to make you rock. I said 1, 2, 3, 4, tell me Wonder Mike, what are you waiting for? To the hip,
Hop, hip, hip, hop, rock. To the bang, bang, boogie. Up, jump, the boogie to the boogie, the rhythm of beat. Woo, it's Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. We are back. It was a long weekend. It was a long weekend. It was a great weekend. It was a sad weekend. It was a joyful weekend. You know, we lost our dear friend and arts maven, Alita Staton, and that was painful. That took the wind out of my sails a little bit. And you know, I'm not one of these people that gets all, you know, freaked out by death, but that one hurt. And at the same time, we had a birth. Meech and Azaria welcome the newest blessing to the world, their baby. So you know, we are in this time and space of miracles and magic and sorrow and sadness, and all these things are true all at once. So we get to hold space. And how lucky are we that we get to hold space, that we get to remember loved ones and tell their stories, and we also get to welcome in new life, you know, welcomed and wanted and all the things. So, you know, that's what makes us human. That's what makes us divine. And I'm glad I got a chance to spend as much time as I did with Alita over the years. I considered her a mentor. We'd had great conversations on a great many things, and I just enjoyed her so much. And when she was at the hospital, we were texting back and forth, talking about she's working on this play about medical care professionals. So I was like, okay. Oh, so she would be missed. And you know, her services next this coming Saturday. And right after that I go perform a marriage, a wedding. So that, I mean, that's just that's just how life is. We just, you know, if you're lucky, um you get to experience all of life. And if you allow yourself, you get to experience all of life. My friend Terry is having a back surgery on Wednesday, and so we're gonna hold him in prayer. Susan Clinard's husband, he's having back surgery. You know, he's a very fit brother man, and so I'm not gonna worry about him. And I think this will give him back his quality of life. That's what I'm praying for. You know, so you know, it's just all these things that are just happening around us, to us, through us, by us, and we just take it in stride. You know, this weekend was a great weekend to porch. We had a good porching weekend this weekend. Like folks came by and hung out, and you know, we drank copious amounts of wine, which is, you know, a good thing, I guess. I don't, I try not to judge myself too harshly, except when I wake up and I'm like, oh, you know, oh. So I hope everybody had a good 4th of July. Whatever it is that you do. I was home, you know, I was around. Uh, we did the Beinecke read, the Frederick Douglass, you know, we did the Declaration of Independence, a passage from Willie Grimes' book. We did some language around the women's suffragette movement, and then we got to the oration of What to the American Slave is the Fourth of July by Frederick Douglass. And I think this is probably one of our best reads. It was so wonderful. And it's always a full house at the Beinecke. And then we went to dinner at what is the little restaurant up there? Union League. Went to Union League for dinner um, on the Beinecke's dime. It was great. It was nice. It was wonderful, wonderful conversation. Uh, yeah, it was good. I always enjoy it. It is one of my favorite things to do. And I'm telling you now more than ever, we need to meditate on the words. You know, we have to remind ourselves we have a Declaration of Independence. And while we, Black people, were not included in that declaration, we are included now, and it is ours now. And we have a duty to uphold it because it affects us now. So, but Frederick Douglass' words still ring true, still rings true. And that's fine because that means we have, as a nation, have a lot to do, and do we must. So it was a great weekend. That was Friday. Saturday, happy birthday, Juanita Austin. Happy birthday to my Sora Mia Pia. Happy birthday. Ann Coates dropped by on Sunday, hung out with us a little bit. My Sora Vera Esdale popped by. Mike Moran popped by bringing books and book bags from the Beinecke, and it was great. Emily Bernard popped by and brought a book that she just finished reading that she just loved, and she thinks somebody else will love it. I mean, it's like, the porch was porching this weekend. All kinds of people on the porch this weekend, just, hanging out, getting to know, watching the little library in action, you know? Because it's one thing for me to tell you about the little library, and I post because I'm so enamored of it. I put up the pictures, I post about it because I just love when people come by. My little girlfriend, the little 3-year-old in her little pink Jeep rolled by. She stopped to wave. I love this kid. Her dad is like driving, with the remote control. And he takes her out. She just rides up and down the street in her little pink Jeep. And the little library is on her stop. And so it was nice for other people to sort of see it in real time, because she's such a doll. But there are lots of men with sons, and we stopped and talked and gave them books and come back and get another book. I just I can't, it's hard to explain how much joy this brings me. It's hard to explain like what it's like to just watch kids get books, for no other reason other than their kids and books are here. I don't have no ulterior motive. They don't got to buy a book. They don't got to sit through a lecture. They don't have to sign their name. I ask if I could take their pictures because I don't like to take pictures without unless people ask me. I mean, unless I ask people and they say yes. Some people are like, no. But no one has said no to me. So it's just been lovely to sort of capture the little library and the people that come to it. And I'm no photographer. I just play one on the radio. And so it's been a joy. And the people that have come by to bring books, the people that have sent books, my friend Denise Tanton, who I think she lives in Florida. I think that's where they live, or somewhere in the South. And she sent 3 boxes of books by and for Black kids and people. I mean, she really did that. My friend Patty Brousseau, who lives in Stanford or Westport or somewhere, sent books and Black girl coloring books. I mean, it's just been the support for this thing has just been amazing. It's just been amazing. And I'm on air right now, so on air. So I can't answer that right now. Like, I'm working, people. I cannot answer your questions. I am working. So anyway, so anyway, the little library uh is doing their thing. And the little library is doing its thing. It is giving me what the library should be giving me. And it's all good. I cannot complain. I cannot complain, you know. So all is well. We are doing the best that we can and where we are doing it. So I know there's a lot of so that was the weekend. The weekend was pretty good. And the pretty good. And it was nice. Hot, very hot. It's hot. My workout group is going well. We got through the first week. They should be very proud. And uh we got through a week, our first week together. And no one has quit. No, no one has quit. So we press on. We keep moving. We keep moving forward. We get together tomorrow. We get together on Tuesday noon, and so far people are enjoying it. I think, at least that's the vibe I'm getting. It's just working out is not easy. Of course, we would rather be at brunch. Brunch is easy. Of course, we would rather be out to lunch or dinner or sitting in the show or something. But our health is our wealth, and we don't see too many people fall by the wayside. So we gotta do all our parts to we have to do all our things. And all our things we must do. So, I can't complain. It's all good. All good, all good. So I go to the gym today at 12 because I'm at the gym, and I'm at the gym. So I go. So I wanted to I'm feeling very politically mindful today because I'm so sick of I am really sick of these Democrats. I am sick of the Democrats and I'm sick of the news media. I'm not understanding this call for Biden to step aside. I don't know what that is. And I'm with Hakeem. Like Hakeem is just like, I'm listening to all this foolishness. I'm not gonna add to it. I'm not gonna shut it. I'm gonna let them keep talking so they can get out their system. The Democrats think, you know what, Democrats, get off your asses and get out there and get your base tight. How you could help win? You know how you could beat tyranny? Get off your asses and get out there and make sure that everybody votes. I don't understand this. Oh, we're just going to put all our hopes on what? Biden and Harris is a great ticket. It's still a good ticket. And not for nothing, Donald Trump is only 3 years younger than Joe Biden. And do we really want another Trump presidency? Are you freaking kidding me? Y'all better stop this foolishness. And the media, which gets on my nerves. And that Stephanopoulos clown, I think he's the worst interviewer ever. I don't enjoy him. I've never enjoyed him in an interview. Never, never. And he's like talking and asking he's like borderline disrespectful on a lot of levels, you know. And you know how the process works. And we're not going to have a new ticket by the time we get to convention. We're not doing that. We're not even going to set that precedence. You know what we're going to do? We're going to win the way we've always won. We're going to get in the trenches. We're going to knock on doors. We're going to get the vote out. That's what we do. We have been doing it forever, and it works for us. Now we want to be what? Lazy and afraid? I'm not afraid of those MAGAs. Who is afraid of those dummies? They're dumb. You mean to tell me we gonna be afraid of them dummies? Are you kidding? And they're stupid. Oh my God. And you want that to run the country? Seriously? These dumbasses? They don't even know how government works. They have no idea how government works. They just, oh, we want to put America back to to what it was when. Pick a time. You tell me when America was great. Tell me. And I will go chapter and verse with you about why that is so not true. I don't understand these people. Why are we letting them get away with, oh, whatever, whatever? You know what they're going to do? They're going to gut Social Security. They're going to make people work longer. They're going to make sure that their rich friends have all the money and the perks. They're going to do away with the EPA. Oh, I'm sorry, they're already doing away with that. We're going to turn back environmental gains. We're going to turn back women's rights gains. And God knows they're trying to make sure Negroes don't vote, period. Gerrymandering aside, they are absolutely going to make sure that we are not voting, And these dummies, ugh, I know I'm insulting. I am. Because I don't understand this foolishness. These Democrats got to do better. Do better. Come on, you are the party that does better. We are the party that does better. I'm not understanding this foolishness. I need them to get on it. I need them to get on it. So, anyway, this is what we have to do. I don't understand this. I don't want to understand it. What I want is somebody to be the voice of reason. And I think Hakeem is the right voice. I think he's just like, all right, let them whine and kvetch and all this other kind of stuff, and then we'll get down to it. We're not going to change horses in the middle of the stream. We're just not going to do that. We're not. And no candidate is I'm not looking for perfection. Hear me. I'm not looking for a super candidate. I'm not looking for the one that can say all the right things, whatever. I need somebody who can get in there, understand how this world works, who they need to talk to, and how do we get to peace and prosperity for everybody. That's what I need. I don't need slick talking. And Donald Trump is slick talking, but he's low level. I talk in a language that people understand, and it's hate language. It's annoying to me. It really is. And people are stupid. I'm like, you would really give up your freedom for this clown? And he said, well, I will say this, it's the best reentry story I know. Donald Trump is the poster child for reentry. Woo, woo. You see how annoyed people was when Gannon became mayor again. It's the same, as far as I'm concerned, it's the same thing. Well, Gannon is likable, but he's not stupid. Now he might be fast and loose on some things, but Trump is another kind of evil. And the people that are down with him, who see this as their opportunity to be dastardly, because that's what they're going to be. They're going to be dastardly. They're going to be dastardly without question. I'm just saying. Lord have mercy. It's just too much. It's just too much. It's just way too much. And I need to we need to get on with it and stay tight. We got to stay tight, you know. Just stay tight. We will though. I mean, it'll be it'll be fine. I have faith in I have absolute faith in Dems, even though I feel like they're being really stupid and whiny. Get your bitch asses off the whining train and get out there and deliver the votes. You know, that's what Biden got to say. He got to get in the room, get in the war room and just be like, cuss them out. Like, if y'all don't shut your asses up about, I'm not going nowhere. So you better get me elected. You better get me elected and let's get on with this. And then Biden, you know what? Allow Kamala to do what Kamala knows how to do. Stop shutting her down and stifling her because you're afraid that her shine is bigger than yours. Here's a tip. Her shine is bigger than yours. And you shutting it down is not helping you. You need to dispatch her. You know, you need to dispatch her, and you're not doing that. But white men gonna white all day. Seriously, white men are gonna white all day. They are. And, you know, we know how to get around that, maneuver through that, plan for that, reckon with that. We've been doing this since, I don't know, since the beginning of time. So, you know, I'm just, you know, and when I say I'm sick of the Dems, I'm not changing party affiliations because here's what I know. I could be mad at the Dems. I'm a Dem. I could be mad at the Dems, talk trash about the Dems, but I also know what my responsibility as a citizen and as a freed person in this country. I know where my destiny lies, and it ain't red Republican. It ain't that. It's not that. It will never be that. It will never be that. So I'm just saying, come on, people, get on it. You know, I need these Democrats to like get it together, and get up off that thing, you know, and stop this whining. This bitch ass whining is not, you know, and then the press feeds into that. Oh my God, I cannot stand it. So, yeesh. Yeesh. I cannot stand it. This is old. Okay. Wow. Anyway, this is an old one. I'm on the New Haven Independent. And it's nice. That's old. That's from 2022. You know, we did it again recently. I know we run the same thing again, but you know, we had some new players, and it was the Honorable Denise Merrill was in the house with us. He was nice. I had on that outfit. That was a good looking outfit on me. Okay, that's a good looking outfit. I wore that 2 years ago. So, okay, all right. Somebody should have came and did it again. I would appreciate it, you know, because I think these kinds of things are necessary and important, you know, particularly when people don't know, you know, people know so little about history and they know so little about, you know, how we got to where we are. That's a shame. I feel like that is a failure of education. It really is a failure of education. because the school systems, education systems could really make history come alive and make it so interesting. And then they could really facilitate real conversations and put everybody in those spaces of these were the kinds of things that we were conversing about and wrestling with in the 1700s and the 1600s, all the things. And it's a shame that, education as we know it is not inspiring enough to warrant these kinds of ways of teaching, to be inspired, to be exciting. I think you could excite students when you lay out, what the country was up against when it was new, and what the issues were. And everybody digs in and talks about all from all the angles. And then you make people who feel one way do the opposite. And then you like put yourself in their shoes, and make everybody switch roles, right? And argue vehemently about why they believe this and that and the other thing. That's where real learning could take place. Do you know? I just don't understand why education systems are not exciting. If I was a kid, I wouldn't want to go to school either. It's not exciting. It's dull and uninteresting. And it's not enough teachers who inspire excitement in learning. There's no excitement in learning, right? There's no excitement. And you could take literature and make things jump off the page if you put the right things in front of students and you make them think about bigger things in themselves and you lay it across their own communities. When you're doing some piece of work by Shakespeare or you're doing something by Toni Morrison, and you get them to think about beyond their borders and where they are, and you put them in these stories and let these pages light them afire. Why are we not creating excitement? Oh my God. It's like we're tired. It's like everybody's unimaginative. It's like everyone is unimaginative. And it just pains me. I was excited by school because I had exciting teachers. They were very exciting teachers. Social studies I don't even know if they still teach social studies. Social studies and civics is one of my favorite classes. This is why it inspired me to want to work as a politician, to become uh, to become someone who was concerned about community. That was the foundation because I remember learning about all these things, you know. I don't know. Sometimes I think sometimes I think I should have been a teacher. But then you have to deal with when you are a teacher, you have to deal with systems. Ah, you know, you have to deal with systems. And when you deal with systems, it hamstrings you. It just hamstrings you. And I guess that would wear you down, you know. Because every time you turn around, they're coming up with some new curriculum that is supposedly better, and then you find out it's not better, but you are obligated and obliged to teach it because that's what it is. Somebody else is making decisions, because I know some very talented teachers who, if you just unchained them, you could see greatness spring up in so many places. Like you could literally see greatness jump up out of these schools. And some of these kids are amazing already, but imagine if an inspiring teacher got their hands on them. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And there's some amazing teachers out there. I've met some. They come to Possible Futures bookstore and they come with all the excitement and the desire of teaching and the love of children to teach. But I also see the frustration of they're being handcuffed all the time by administration that is insensitive, I think, to what is happening in the classroom. Whatever. Whatever. I don't know what to make of it. Whatever. Whatever. So I'm just saying. I'm just I'm just I'm just saying. So so yeah, I think I'm in a mood. I'm in a mood. Not a bad mood. Just I'm just, I'm a little annoyed by a few things. That's all right. It's all right to be annoyed because you know what? Annoyance means I care something about what is happening. And annoyance makes you think about solutions. Like, not I'm not so annoyed where I'm like, ugh, throw my hands up and walk away. That's not it. That's not it. I'm not going to be in the political fray running for office, no. But I certainly could raise my voice as I'm doing right now, with the need of deeper involvement in the political processes. You know, that's really what I know, what I think, just more of that. I'll just be happy with a little library in front of my house. You know, you know, that's all. Just uh do the best that you can, I guess. Uh, oh, Hanan is back in the car. Okay, girl. Okay. I miss Senegal. I do. I so enjoyed myself there, and I just loved it, and I love that people love that I was there. I'll get back. Don't you worry. I will definitely get back. I'll get back. I'm not worried about it. Uh, I'm not worried about it. Yeah. So listen, it's Monday. It's hot. I love it. I know people are like, oh, it's so hot. It's so hot. Oh, it's so humid. And it's not going to let up anytime soon either. Like, we got the next few days of this. I mean, my air conditioner's in my window, so I sleep all right at night, But I don't mind it. I really don't. I'm not mad. Just FYI, I'm not mad. I'm gonna go with it. Because the alternative is what? Although I am praying for the folks in Texas because I think that's challenging, you know. Uh, I think that's challenging on a lot of levels. And these hurricanes, at some point, dear citizens of the world, we're gonna have to deal with climate change. I know y'all don't want to hear it. I know folks are like, you do want to hear about climate change. I don't believe in it. Okay. All right, mi amigas and mi amigos. All right. All right. I do want to hear about climate change. I don't believe in it. It's God's will. Okay. All right. That's what we doing. Okay. You know. And then that's it. You just so many things to reckon with in the world. But that's a good thing, I think, that we can reckon with things. that we have the capacity to reckon with things. I mean, aside from all the foolishness that we have to contend with people and their stupidity, I was somewhere sitting and I was listening to these young people talk about um, there was something they didn't know. And it was just stunning to me that they did not had no awareness of this thing. I don't know what it was, but it was something very uh simple. And I remember thinking to myself, why don't they know this? And it took everything I had not to just like pipe in. And I probably should have, but I was so stunned that I don't know what it was that they were saying. And I immediately thought, man, we are doomed because we've got so many segments of populations that are disconnected. And for me, I don't mind different segments of populations because for me, I always believed that education was the great unifier, that education was the leveling tool, you know, and that's not the case. And I find that to be troublesome on a lot of levels. Troublesome. So I don't know what the leveling field is anymore. I don't know if we can make education be the great leveler because we can't even agree on how to educate children. But we know education is necessary. We know. We know reading is necessary. Writing is actually putting pen to paper is necessary. But then you have people who are like, oh, cursive is outdated. But if they don't learn to read or write in cursive, the Declaration of Independence and all the other documents are going to be lost to them. That's why this is important, because they're documents where they're written in that form. And if we start to lose the ability to understand how that is done, how to do it, how to read it, then these documents are going to be lost. Why do I have to spell this out? Why isn't anybody thinking, you know what? You're right. I am right. If you do not learn to read and write in cursive, you're not going to be able to read and write in cursive. And it's going to be things that are going to be out of your reach. So when we have to sign off on legal documents, how are we going to do that? You know what they used to make enslaved people do? With a mark. And this was your mark. Is that what we want that? We're going back to that. Is that what we want? I'm just trying to understand. And then you know what else is going to happen? Only the rich will be able to educate themselves and their children. We're going back to that model because that was the model. Only the rich. It didn't matter they weren't even thinking about Black people because Black people weren't considered people. So it was against the law for us to read and write. But poor white people, where's that going to leave you? See, this is the thing. These poor white people think that their allegiance is to Donald Trump and that realm. It is not. It is not. Because you've been convinced to believe that your destiny is more in line with people that look like you rather than people who are economically where you are. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So I'm just thinking about these things, and I could see down the road, you know, that these things that we used to take for granted will become so obsolete that a few people will know how to do it, you know. And that's a little troublesome, I think. You know, I find it troublesome. And I'm worried. I'm worried. That's the kind of stuff that I worry about. It's that kind of stuff that I worry about. You know, I worry about that because if people can't read and write, that puts them at a very disadvantaged place. And we have too many people who cannot read and write. And yeah, you know, maybe we need reading camps. You know, maybe we need to get groups together and do reading groups in every community. You know, maybe that's what we have to do. Maybe that's the answer, or an answer, not the answer. You know, I don't think there's one answer to any of this stuff. I think there's lots of answers, but we got to be willing to put them on the table and say, you know, okay, if this school's reading scores are low, what can we do? Taking away recess is not the answer. I don't care what anybody says. That makes no sense to me. You know, so maybe you build in circle time, reading time, you know, I'm no educator. I'm no educator, but I ran Jumpstart for Young Children and stood in the White House in the Oval Office talking with then President Clinton about the importance of books in the home and children learning how to hold a book and learning how to read and putting them in spaces, in early childhood education spaces where that becomes what they do. And you can teach children to hold a book and not to be looking at words and trying to like, oh, guessing, but to sound them out phonetically and give them the tools to do that. I I don't understand why we departed from that. But now we understand there's value in it, so now we're trying to do it again. So I know something about early childhood education, even though I'm not an early childhood educator. But I ran a whole organization um, about that, and I was good at it, and I loved it, and I love watching these little kids, and we had relationships getting books. Kellogg put these little books in cereal, right? Kellogg's was doing this, putting little books in size for their little hands in Cheerio boxes, cereal, you know, instead of ridiculous, stupid toys, you know. Teaching children to read is divine. Teaching anybody to read. Literacy volunteers need volunteers because they don't have enough people because people want to learn how to read. My friend Ife is working with a elderly woman who is learning to read. Elderly, worked her whole life, raised a family, did not know how to read. Can you imagine what it requires to work, and not be able to read? Do you know what that's like? I don't know what that's like. I have no idea what that. I think the only thing I can imagine it would be like if I go to a foreign country, I don't speak the language. I can't read the language. I can't speak the language, but I know how to work. It's the for me, it's the same. It's the same. So I think reading is one of the most divine things ever. Do you know? I think about this, and I knew this because when my children were young, they spent an exorbitant amount of time reading. They, I think they was just like, look, my mother makes me read one more damn book. And then I got to the point where I was like, however much you read is however much TV you get. Because you're not going to sit in front of this TV for hours and hours and hours and just sit there and watch this TV. So however much time you read, and they can pretend to read or whatever, but at some point, your pretense is going to become real because you're going to get into the book. You're going to be like, okay, I'm reading this book, you know. One summer I made them read The Alchemist. Each and every one of them. They read they read The Alchemist. And they read The Alchemist. And they read Parable of the Sower. You know. Uh, they read Parable of the Sower. They were little. Care. They're just gonna read these books. They can't say that now. They can't be somebody like, oh, I never read those books. You know. So they read these books. And we spent a lot of time reading. We read all the Harry Potter books and one couple of back-to-back summers sitting in a circle reading it out loud. The whole book, all of them, not just one or two, all of them. We read all of them, and it was just wonderful. It was such a great experience, and they loved it. And I didn't care if they loved it or not. They was doing it, you know. And then they had to read it out loud. We had to sit and listen to each other read. It was great. They don't even know how great that was for them. You know, they don't even know. They will know though at some point when they start raising their own families. You know, they'll remember the importance of um, they will remember the importance of reading. And they grew up in a house where I read, their father read, everybody read. We always reading. Everybody's reading. And we go to the library. We'd go to Hamden Library. We go to downtown New Haven Library. We go to the Mitchell Library in Westville. We went to the Fairhaven Library. And we went to the Hill Library. And they all had library cards. They had their own library card, and they signed them. I mean, that's just what I was committed to. You know. Now, do they have do they have their own library cards now? I have no idea. And then when they figured out they could use the computers at the library, well, that was a big deal because then they really wanted to go because then they could get on and surf the internet and do all the things, you know, and play games and stuff like that, you know. And they had to have a library card to do it. So they kept up their library cards. So it's like, all right. And they'd get books, and then every week we check out books, and then we come back. That's what we did. We went to the library all the time. All the time. And got library books. What are they good readers now? I think they are. You know, but the thing about reading is you have to keep at it. You know, you just have to, it's not just, oh, I just read one time. You have to keep reading. And you have to read interesting things. And what kills me when people say, oh, I don't like to read. That's foreign to me. It's you might as well just say, I'm stupid. And I'd have to stare at you and be like, do I agree with this? I remember I was working at B's bookstore, and this fine brother, he was the postman. He was so fine. Oh, and I just would flirt away with him this whole time. And I said, and he came in, and he would never stop. And then he started stopping when I was in there, and he would talk to me. We'd talk, and I just was enthralled with him. I thought, oh, here we go. So I said, oh, well, what have you read? You know, I think the conversation jumped around to books. And he said to me without no hesitation, oh, I don't read. I don't like to read. I don't like books. And it was as if he punched me in the head. I couldn't get him out the store fast enough. I just could not get him out the store fast enough because it was just so ridiculous to me. And then he goes in on, because they put stuff in these books that brainwash you or some old mess like that. I remember I just felt like he punched me in my head and I was falling backwards into a black hole. I swear to God. And I thought to myself, holy cow. And then he was no longer fine to me. He was no longer anybody I was interested in talking to. And there are moments when you feel like you could talk to people and try to, get them to convince them. And then there are moments when you're like, that second part of the conversation, when he said, because books brainwash people, I was just like, there was nothing I could say to espouse the joys of reading to this brother. And thank God B. Doja Taylor wasn't there, because she probably would have stabbed him. like I wanted to. And I was like, what? I swear to God, he said, I don't like books. I don't read because books brainwash people. I'm like, sir, what? So, yeah, I'm a harsh one. I'll be back. Oh.
Yeah. Jam on it.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, Cosmo, you gonna rock it, right? You gonna do it now, right? Yeah, Cosmo, what's the name of this?
Hi, this is Babz Rawls-Ivy from New Haven, Connecticut, and you're listening to WNHHLP 103.5 FM, streaming live at New Haven Independent.